Welcome to the Tales of Aoth, a tabletop podcast set in the world where magic and modernity clash in the age of steam and metal. 6 players, as a colorful cast of characters, explore the nations of Aoth and discover the marvelous wonders as well as the ever-increasing dangers. With an unknown threat looming over the horizon, will our heroes be able to save the world? To find out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you give us a like and a comment down below, that'd be great too. This video will be a session 0, a one-shot of sorts, where the individual party members go through their own origin stories before they are called by the Emperor on a grand adventure to save the nations of the Empire and the world as a whole. Hello everybody, welcome to another and the final one-shot of this session. I'm very excited because it deals with what I think is a very interesting character, and I think it's probably one of the best ones to end it off with. Last but not least, we have Kotar playing the role of Asteri. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Constable Asteri is a turtle standing 8 feet 10 inches tall. He is clad in the maroon colors of the Empire with purple and gold highlights covering his cloth and armor. His scales are mostly green, but they are purple, scattered throughout, going from his eye and beyond, with a yellowish tint on the underchin. Upon his armor is the patterns of constellations that seem to stem from his shell. He is equipped with a one-handed moon sickle, as well as a shield, emblazoned with an eye in the center. An employee of the Bureau of Civil Disputes. Essentially, a law enforcer slash detective slash other things put in together.
Breaking news! Vullkon Ablested has been reported dead in his own tavern. Emperyan Civil Enforcers has been dispatched and are investigating the crime scene. Ablestead has been one of the biggest critics of the Emperor's new golden age, a voice for the ever-growing crowd of discontent. Now a new martyr of many, in a string of accidents and murders of outspoken critics. Was his death an unfortunate altercation in the crime-filled Third Ring, or something more sinister? Stay tuned.
Do I hear that directly, like on the radio?
You do hear it on the radio. Rows and rows of passerbys surround the Ablestead tavern as enforcers started to create space for the constables to investigate the crime scene. Inside the bar, the tavern chipped with splinters and broken glass, blood splatters soaked in the wooden panels, dripped by the victim's blood, covered by a white cloth. One elven man was awaiting you, a comrade only known as the Constable, the most famous for his high-priority case-solving skill. I was like, there you are. Better late than never.
I'm exactly on time. You told me to be at this point in time, and I am here.
For the constable, he considers like 1 second late. Very punctual man. The constable greets you in a very blunt and straightforward manner. It was another day on the job, just one murder out of the hundreds in the Third Ring district. The elven man extends his arm out to show you the body. Shall we begin?
Yes.
And also, your friend, Enforcer Luke, is going to help you as well. The body of Vullkon Ablested is covered by a white cloth behind the bar table. The constable lifts the cloth. Asteri, you can roll a perception or investigation check.
Well, this is a great way to start. Natural 20.
You succeed. Don't worry about it. The head has been crushed. Skull broken, severe bruises on the jaw and forehead. This indicates that he was held by the face and then stabbed repeatedly in the torso.
Can I tell what kind of thing grabbed his head?
Well, there's no marking, no fingerprints, as far as the enforcers able to gather.
Yes, but to hold the head while you stab it, it actually causes, blunt force trauma at the point of contact as its main point of contact, assuming you're holding it from above. As such, you'd bruise that area.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely in the facial region.
Yeah, so I should be able to tell then, potentially, at least, how many fingers and such.
5 fingers, digits, definitely humanoid.
Alright.
The constable, the murderer, must have had very powerful upper body strength. Your buddy old pal Luke just starts to back away and then go over to a corner to throw up.
Not in the crime scene, Luke!
Oh god. Ugh! He starts vomiting all over the place. The constable sort of lifts his head, turns over to him. The next time you walk into a homicide, I suggest skipping breakfast.
Asteri snaps and shape water to essentially pick up the vomit.
We can do that later, or,
yes.
Just let the
No, it's more of a snap just to put it in a nice little bag so it doesn't contaminate the scene.
Just, put it in a little Ziploc bag.
Yes. Dispose of that later, Luke. Anyway, going back to the body.
He's dry heaving at this point. I would make you roll Constitution, but I don't think that's necessarily a big deal for you. You've seen plenty of murders before in your time training as a constable.
Yes.
The constable then proceeds to put the cloth back down on the body, looks at you, and says, now our murderer is left behind. Search the area. Suspect has to have left something.
I'm gonna look at the blood splatters first.
You're gonna look at the blood spatty spat first? Okay.
Yes. The guy was stabbing him when he was holding him. Potential blood would pool around the feet, at least giving me a potential idea of a shoe or something.
Ah, that's right. Roll for perception.
24.
Fortunately, there doesn't appear to be a footprint or any other indicators ever. Seems like whoever done this was extremely cautious and extremely thorough. They might have actually had some chance to clean up the crime scene before they left.
Mm-hmm.
As you're searching around the bloodstains, you go over to the bar table.
Number 2.
Yes, number 2. Behind the bar table, a key can be found in the bar's storage room.
Fingerprints first, and then key.
Yep.
Any fingerprints?
Well, you do manage to get a bunch of fingerprints. It's going to take a while for you to actually get, like, a positive ID on them.
No, I'm saying, like, have they at least recorded it so I could pick it up, or...
Oh, yeah, the enforcers have been kind of doing, like, a little bit of CIS work.
Basically, I have them dusted, they take all the fingerprints, now I'm allowed to touch it.
Yes.
Then I'll do that.
Yep.
Is it a hidden key, or is it just out in the open?
It's not necessarily hidden, it's just under the table, so it's easy for the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking under the bar table as well, with your 20, around the body, more splinters can be seen, and tiny holes resembling gunshots, as well as large chunks missing from the tables and stools. With your perception check, you were able to also look behind the bar and see that a shotgun lays on the floor underneath the table. Roll an investigation check.
17.
The shotgun still smells of gun smoke, freshly used.
The body temperature.
The body temperature is room temperature at this point.
And we found no shotgun shells in the person?
Nope, body's been stabbed. However, you can look around the tables.
Yeah.
Number 3, the tables also have like large chunks as well as tiny holes in them. So it appears that someone used the shotgun and just fired everywhere.
Is this shotgun registered?
Yes, it's his shotgun. He was definitely allowed to have it.
Mm-hmm. And was the shotgun found? Any blood or anything?
There's like small spackle, but no, it wasn't like under any of the pools.
Mm-hmm. Constable, are you sure it was a strong upper body and not magic? Where's the detect magic team?
Well, we can't rule out magical artifacts, but any sort of arcane residue would have been gone by now. Still, good observation. We shouldn't rule that out.
Alright.
Roll another perception check.
16? I'm not looking forward to what happens when I get this bad luck.
You're a master detective, what can I say?
Yes.
You see speckles of paint and white chips are ingrained within the scratches of the furniture. Roll an investigation check. Figure out what exactly these are.
I'm just taking my own notes like the proper detective.
It's like LA Noire.
22. Oh, by the way, as a note, I should preface this. Unless otherwise stated, I'm casting guidance on myself at all times.
Well, you now cast guidance because you just remember.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not saying it before. I'm just saying it as a note because technically I could just do it once every minute.
You touch one
Or
willing
until I
creature once before the spell ends. The target can roll one d4 to add the number. Oh, hey, that's actually pretty cool. All right.
Yes.
You know.
So instead of 22, 25.
All right, sure. You take a pick of some of the white little specks, and you see that the tiny white chips appear to be made of porcelain.
Any porcelain around here?
It's all over the tables.
Is there any kind of like base like that's mostly intact or something?
No, it's just like small tiny chips. Something porcelain was grinding on the table as it made slashes. And it's all over the scratches, but not through the holes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have a key to the back room. You can open it.
I'm not done yet with this room.
Okay, what else would you like to see?
I notice a bottle thrown in the corner.
Yes.
I want to take a look at that really quick.
Alright, it appears to be Queensberry wine, something that a specialty of Vullkon Ablested. Dry and slightly chipped. This bottle was empty a very long time ago. Probably used in a party the other day, and somebody didn't throw it out properly.
Mm-hmm. I want to check the bottles under here now.
Yep, those are wet. Some of them still are flowing with alcohol. They also appear to be chipped as well, as if somebody hit them. One of them, the bottom is completely smashed. Sort of like a bottle knives, where somebody like smashes the
was
bottle.
it a bottle knife that cut this man?
Ah, good theory. Would you like to propose that to the constable?
Yes, because I'm assuming he said stab. I should have asked what kind of stab wound.
Definitely like a shiv. You want to bring the constable over?
Yes.
What is it, Constable Asteri?
Look at these bottles.
Definitely more than one person. Was Vullkon having a party before the night of the murder?
Potentially. Saw another bottle in the corner. Most likely party. People were drunk. And then either someone took advantage of the party or the party got a little too serious.
Knowing Vullkon Ablested, his patrons were rowdy type. Do you think one of his patrons stabbed him?
Potentially, but unlikely. Too clean of a job to be someone in the passion of it.
Yes. Also, if you were going to imply that they used the bottle as the murder weapon, I'm afraid it's not bloody in any way.
I'm not saying they didn't take it away. Who knows what they could have used? Check just surrounding trash cans.
The enforcers are working on that.
I know. That would be the next guess. However, there's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
With the chips of porcelain, someone was obviously grinding it. I have an idea what something could be ground into the tables and such. Do you?
Sort of looks as like chips of porcelain.
Yes.
It's like, where did you find this?
Table 3.
Yeah, I just imagine they're like the CIS put like little cards.
Cones. It's
Yeah. This is something that he missed. He just looks over and it's like, rubbing his fingers against the porcelain chips. Is the murder weapon thing made out of porcelain? Very inefficient. Messy. It leaves too much.
Again, this looks professional, but at the same time, the crime scene itself looks sloppy. It could be that it's trying to be staged.
But who?
Personally, from the junk on the radio pointing at the finger, this is clearly a job of just trying to badmouth the Emperor. Obviously, you find someone who's outspoken, murder them, it's like, oh, instant martyr. So technically, this could be just some make-their-own martyr. Could be something else. We don't know what kind of debts or not he had. We'll have to wait for information from, the civil department on his finances.
Still, badmouthing the Emperors usually doesn't end up in murderous rage. Could be a crime of passion.
Crime of passion, potentially, but then someone passionate enough to actually get upset and then actually professionally clean the crime scene.
You do raise valid points. We also shouldn't rule out that this was calculated to spark outrage. But again, it leaves the question, why and whom?
Why? Arguably easy. Badmouth the Emperor and the Empire in any way. Whom? Someone who hates the Empire enough to go after anyone, even potential allies. I found the key to the back room. I'm gonna look there in a second. However, have you taken a look at some of the stock? Just gonna confidently walk over here. Look at these shelves. They're still stocked. If someone was shooting a shotgun wildly, I'd expect a lot more bottles and carnage of liquid.
Constable looks over, his hand gliding over the stocks. Do you assume that the murderer tried to use the shotgun?
Not guaranteed, but it's a chance to just make it look like the guy was taken by surprise. Then in an effort to make it look like the victim put up a fight, could shoot the shotgun a few times. None of the porcelain marks on the table had shotgun holes.
Do you think that this could have been Vullkon trying to defend himself?
Absolutely could. Could be someone else who tried to defend himself. It's his shotgun, but we've pretty conclusively said there's a good chance there's a party. Points across the room. Look at all those other beer bottles and even on the chair.
This is a bar.
Yes, but normally, bars tend to at least keep it clean off the floor. If they spall down on the floor, it wastes the drink. If this kind of crowd wants to waste drink, they don't have enough money.
Very good point. Let's check the back room, see if there's anything there.
One last thing, actually.
One more thing.
I'm going to use shape water. We've already taken pictures of all the blood spatters and such, right?
For the most part, yeah.
I want to take a look and just basically go into it and try to take a nice, good look. Is there anything in the blood?
Roll for perception.
Okay, 23.
You sort of swish it around and like even trying to freeze it and try to capture it in different states of matter, like solid and then liquid again.
Mm-hmm.
Luke starts throwing up again because that is fucking disgusting. But there doesn't appear to be any impurities inside the blood.
Check under the fingernails.
Ah, good idea. Checking under the fingernails, you actually start to see a bit of wood chips as well, especially around right hand. Looking at some of the scratch marks at the main bar table, you can see faint scratches as well, not ones that are similar to wear and tear of the other ones. This would dictate that Vullkon tried to grab the table and he got dragged along. Probably also corroborates the theory that whoever is the murderer is unusually strong.
Yes. There's one more thing I can do. We've already checked the body, correct?
Yes.
You said there's alcohol spilled over here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where is he stabbed?
It's a little bit everywhere. At chest and stomach.
There's
28 stab wounds.
Alright, there's one last thing I can do. I'm gonna try to basically lean down next to him. Is there anything in his mouth? If he was this desperate to do anything, biting is not off the table.
Roll for investigation, please.
18 total. Thank
18?
God for guidance.
Yay, guidance. You do see, scrapes and also chipping of his front teeth, as if he was trying to bite something.
Constable, over here.
What did you see?
I just remembered something. The surrounding area, no one heard anything, correct?
There was complaints about gunshots, which I can surmise, and he points at the shotgun. Other than that, there was a few screams. We thought this was a domestic complaint, but the enforcers then saw a dead body.
So, obviously, if we heard screams, then how do you explain these teeth marks? It wasn't some kind of gag.
No.
That means they actually managed to bite something hard enough that they chipped their own teeth on it. Bone of a humanoid is pretty strong.
Yes. That was armor.
Yes.
Would porcelain be enough to break teeth?
Depends on how thick it is, too.
Yes. We probably should get an expert on pottery craft to further illuminate us on porcelain properties.
There's a good chance. I'm assuming porcelain could be used for armor. It's ceramic.
True, although it wouldn't be able to stop a gunshot unless you wear a lot of porcelain.
Well, we already know that this person already was really strong. Can't rule it out yet.
No.
Alright, the back rooms await. Looking in. I know there's a 4 over there. I immediately look to this open door.
Before you go, you check the door, and it appears to be locked. You use the key,
Blink.
open it up. The storage room, an assortment of bottles and ingredients. It's standard affair for a bar. However, there appears to be some shortage of supplies.
I'm gonna first take a look at this cabinet that looks open.
Okay. There's also the back door right over here.
Yep.
Roll investigation.
14.
You look in. This appears to be the safe where money, gold, and Emperyan marks are stored. It is empty now.
Safe is empty. Again, if it's a real passion, might as well go for it. Could just someone also want to just do it for the money.
One problem with that, the door was locked when we walked in, right?
Yes.
So, with all the brute force, do you think the door would not be smashed open?
It technically should. But then again, points in the back corner. Explain the back door.
Well, you haven't exactly investigated the back door either, so...
No, I'm saying that I haven't gotten there yet. Technically speaking, they could have used the key, opened the door, taken the money, closed the door, but who knows? It seems unlikely.
Without opening the back room door.
Stupid, unlikely, but still needs to be considered.
The constable sort of looks over and pushes the rear exit door. It just creaks open. This door was slightly ajar.
More likely, see, back door's open. Could be the culprit, unlikely. Probably some third party saw what happened, or, saw the scene before the enforcers, decided, hey, I know where the safe is. We're going to take the money. Again, another alternative is to make it look like it's just a regular murder. Murder them, take the money, and run, just to confuse us. Again, all possibilities. Who knows about everything at the moment.
If I was a thief, 1, I would just want to take any valuables. I wouldn't want to murder the person. 2, I wouldn't want to stage it like a murder, then run all the way around and unlock the door so that I could take all the stuff that I needed and then go out the back door again. It doesn't make any sense.
But I'm saying this could be a third party. Someone who decided just to take money at the same time.
Roll an investigation check, please.
Unnatural 20.
As you stated, it's highly unlikely that the murderer would go in, take the stuff, and then go back to the other side to murder the person. You also see green tufts of feathers can be found littered around the storage items and also some of the safes.
Do you see these green feathers?
Constable goes over and it's like, green feathers? Oh.
It could be who we're thinking of.
Yes, a well-known thief. If I know this thief, the murder is definitely not one of his repertoire.
No, it wouldn't be, but going over to this safe...
Yeah, this place is robbed blind.
Yeah. However, looks at the bottles in front of me. How disturbed are they?
Not very disturbed, although there is some green tufts of feathers there as well. It seems like our thief didn't take any of the alcohol bottles, just wanted the money.
There's no need for fingerprints around this one if it's who we think. Why did it have to be them at the same time?
Roll history.
15.
You remember the constable had an informant named Vika, who is a birdfolk thief. He's usually tries to keep his nose clean most of the time, but he usually gets arrested for small time stuff. Petty larceny, loitering, petty robbery. So, when the constable catches him, instead of arresting him, he tells him everything he knows, and he gets Emperyan ordained community service. That's all you know about the guy.
So where is Vika on his community service this time?
Well, he just finished, which means he was violating his terms. Old habits die hard, it seems.
I'm not surprised, but Asteri walks over. Is this a still?
Yes.
I want to take a look. Is it regular, or is it some kind of special?
It's unlabeled, so you have no idea.
I can dip a finger in to check.
Do you give it a lick?
Yep.
It's a very strong type of bourbon. On the side, you can see it says Ablestead bourbon.
Is Ablestead enough to make someone drunk? I'm wondering, how drunk was our victim, by comparison?
We don't know. The Bureau's alchemy team will have to
I know, I'm just
report based
wondering.
on the blood.
No, I know that. I'm just wondering, if he had a potential customer in here while it happened who was drunk off their asses.
Maybe.
This stuff is strong. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, say, a party at the bar.
As bars tend to do, yes.
Naturally. That means we might have a potential fourth party, besides our feathered friend. Vika is definitely the best witness we have at the moment. Good chance either right before or right after the murder.
Also technically our only suspect, because the only one we can identify as on the scene of the crime, albeit as unlikely that is.
I highly doubt it since the body wasn't covered in green feathers.
Roll a perception check, Asteri.
22.
You notice that there's another door. One that was partially hidden and obscured.
Wait a second.
A door with a steel lock hidden away in the walls. This should have been added to the bar inventory. It's a steel lock. You can either try to unlock it with sleight of hand with disadvantage, or you can just brute force the thing and break it open.
Constable, it's one of these again.
Lovely.
You know what? No, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna take some water out of a bottle, stick it in the key, turn it, freeze it, then I'm gonna have the water expand, blowing it
and
up.
blowing out the lock. Alright, yeah, no, totally. Ah, that's what you're doing. Gotcha. You go over to the door, right over here. Constable is like, well, it seems to be locked tightly. We might need to get the bureau locked, and then it just busts open. And then the constable just looks as like, or that can work too. Are you ready?
Yes.
Inside the room is filled with firearms, bullets, and masks. It appears that Vullkon was using this room for stockpiling.
Yep, it's what I thought.
I assume that this was not for the patrons of the bar. Vullkon's discontent would not end with just words. The constable grabs a mask, symbolizing a gray crescent with a peculiar red mark streaked down the eye holes. Asteri, you may roll a history check.
17.
Okay. It appears to be a modified silver moon mask. See the constable just sort of like gripping the mask as you hear him utter under his mask. He's like, silver moons.
It's the Silver Moons, of course.
Using your history check, the Silver Moons is an organization that sprung from the founding family of the legendary hero Haka, advocating to the Emperor for the rights of the lower class. While they revere the Emperor for his golden age, they tend to have more constructive criticism about how things are run. They don't believe in hierarchies, which means each Silver Moon branch is run autonomously, with no leader at the helm. At least no overseer to, oversee all the different branches of the Silver Moon.
Okay, I thought he actually just hated the Emperor. I didn't expect the Silver Moons.
Silver Moons have done some good. The Emperor has allowed them to exist. People who join their ranks are either well-meaning or thugs looking for a self-righteous cause to vandalize, on who you ask.
Vandalism is not the words I would use. However, looks at the safe. I think there's something we can deal with later.
You see that the constables seem to have some very mixed feelings about the Silver Moons. Probably you do as well, considering the fact that they're allowed to exist within the Empire by the Emperor decree.
They're essentially sanctioned extremists.
Somewhat. At least the more vocal, less violent part of the Silver Moon are allowed.
No, I don't care about that.
Obviously the murdering kind and the vandalizing kind are kind of not.
Yeah.
One thing you do know as a constable is that protesting and criticizing the Emperor is legal.
Oh, no, I have no problem with that. That's why I said civil discourse until I saw the steel door.
Yep. The constable gave you a description of what other people think of the Silver Moons, but you don't actually know what he thinks of them, if you want to ask.
I'm more surprised they're not like me with, shall we say, more by the book on them.
Not entirely. There are only 2 Silver Moons that I can respect. Their main philosophy and morality align with mine. It's their actions and expressions that I do not condone.
Yep. What's in this safe, you think?
There's some keys actually sprinkled around, so after trying a couple of keys, they open, and it appears to be more masks, blueprints, and also instructions for making grenades, smoke grenades, bombs, things like that. Even new magic arcane runes as well. Seems like Vullkon was very serious about the whole thing.
Blueprints for what, though?
You don't exactly have that huge of a knowledge, but you can roll a knowledge arcana.
Yeah, I just want to have an idea of what it is.
Yep.
9.
You can't make heads or tails of this.
I am not an architect.
Yeah, new magical engineering is not one of your strongs. You went into law school. And the constable is time to piece together the puzzle.
Yes.
What do you think happened here?
Good chance, since this is an extreme branch of the Silver Moons, more likely now that some kind of disagreement potentially happened. Or it could be some other faction.
You're right.
Involved, but for one reason or another, this vocal member...
Vullkon.
Vocal. No, I was just saying vocal member of the Silver Masks.
Oh, vocal. I see. Okay.
Yes, vocal.
I thought you were trying to pronounce the guy who
No.
died. A little bit disrespectful. I mean, he just died. Come on, Kotar. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Continue.
So, for one reason or another, there's a good chance there was some kind of disagreement. However, given the state of the things, it obviously didn't altercate until the end. We didn't exactly hear yelling. We first heard gunshots before screaming of when the stabbing occurred. Can't tell for certain. No guarantee it could be vice versa. As such, the person who got into the altercation with Vullkon is definitely more skilled and given by these blueprints, and Vullkon's occupation, I doubt that they could do it themselves. As such, probably had a external helper or someone that they disagreed with, hence...
Do you think it might be a disagreement between the little Silvermoon branch or cell?
I believe so.
You're right. This room was filled with Silvermoon cameos and logos, symbols of anarchy. Vullkon was already a voice of disapproval of the Emperor. Perhaps he was planning on using the discontent to stage an outright mutiny. This is the motive of all of our chain killing. From this mysterious murderer, this case now moves from homicide to political assassination.
Essentially, yes.
What next?
Find out who the hell these blueprints belonged to originally, what they mean, in addition to getting that porcelain expert. We heard about gunshots. That doesn't explain about the general state of the room. Obviously, I know we keep saying it's a bar, normal things, party, etc. However, the record player, there's a broken record on the floor. Chairs and tables are moved around more than just a single shotgun could really do, and only one of them really had a lot of shotgun shells in them. Potentially could just been a brawl before it devolved into a gunfight too. Not guaranteed. There was a lot of noise. As such, we really gotta find Vika.
Well, considering the fact that going to the gunshots, it appeared that Vullkon had his shotgun at the ready. Judging by the angle of pellets in the tables, indicates that he anticipated the murderer coming.
I agree. It's not like he walked in here, grabbed the shotgun, and then walked out before the fighting started. Safe wouldn't have been locked as such. While the weapons here are, shall we say, strewn, they're not completely disorganized if you're in a life or death fight.
Yes, and it also appears that our would-be thief either didn't know that this room existed or didn't bother picking the lock. Probably already had his hands full with all the money from the safes. So, it appears that your summation is correct. The back door was open, but the storage door had no sign of being tampered with. This indicates that 2 crimes were happening that night. The thief scurried through the storage room, steal from the bar inventory. Our thief definitely might have seen what happened that night.
I agree. At this point, we can definitely narrow that down at least.
And you're also on the right track about Vullkon's head. There is no way that this was natural prowess. Some type of magic device must have been used for the murderer to have the strength to pick up the man by the head. You can't see through his mask, but judging by the way that he sort of puts his stature, he's actually quite impressed with your detective work. You were able to even see things that I was not able to detect. You have a very gifted talent.
Thank you. But isn't that why I'm here for anyway?
Very true. So we have a good image of what happened. Our thief is our key witness to the crime, and judging by the calling cards, I think I might know where...
Excellent. Let's go.
So, you guys are walking throughout the Third Ring District. It's now, like, early in the morning as you manage to travel. You smell the spices and sounds of haggling fill the air as you both walk into the bazaar of the 3rd District. Most of the crowds step back and move out of your way. Vika should be here at any moment. This is his usual stomping grounds, after all. You already know about Vika, considering the fact of your baller fucking history check. You find the birdfolk in question. A black plume with green feather tips that matched Constable's description was wandering around in the alleyways, striking up a conversation with an old lady while simultaneously reaching for a coin purse. How do you wish to approach him?
Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna just whisper, does Vika run?
Sometimes, if he gets a little bit too stressed. As a birdfolk, he tends to be more flight than fight.
Alright. Will he run if he sees you, or if he sees me?
He won't run if he sees me, but if we start questioning him too hard, he might feel pressured. Considering the fact of the severity of the crime, that might be unavoidable.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna head this off ahead of time. Alright, you go first, then I'll prepare just in case. Also, please try to save that old lady's money.
So the constable goes over and is like, "Hello, Vika." Vika's like, hello, officers. How can I help you today? He says slowly, placing the coin purse back. Is this how you have been treating your community service? Yes, of course, my community service. I found this lady's purse, and I decided to give it back to her. The lady kind of looks back and is like, what? My coin purse was missing?
Yes. Anyway, now that I'm closer, can I see the 3 in the back?
Yes. Civilians just sort of minding their own business. They're sort of the people that are trying to clear a path for you because they don't want anything to do with what you guys are doing right now.
Madam, do you live anywhere near here? I shall escort you partially.
I just live down the street over there.
Ah, excellent. Shall we?
Yes. Thank you. What a nice old lizard folk.
Indeed. Excuse us.
Roll a perception check.
26.
Jesus Christ. So while you're walking, you see the constable talking to Vika. He's saying questions like, what exactly were you doing last night? And he's like, me? I was just, enjoying a nice brisk walk in the moonlight. Why? He sort of goes like, Vika, I know you were at Vullkon's bar last night. What? No, I couldn't have. Vika just sort of looks as like, well, you see, and then, boom, ducks into the crowd at full sprint. Constable just like sighs, is like, I hate it when he runs. Go after Vika, I'll try to cut him off.
All right.
It's a chase. Are you familiar with the chase rule set?
It depends. I might need a refresher.
You can sprint, that takes 2 of your actions. You can sprint for 3 turns, plus your constitution modifier, without using points of exhaustion.
Alright, perfect. I'm also good.
Vika kind of has the initiative on this. He's going to start running and then throwing stuff down onto the floor, essentially making this rough terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Then also going with the crowd. It's your turn. What do you want to do? What's your move speed again?
30.
Well, of course, this is rough terrain.
Well, yes.
You can use an action to negate that, although you can't sprint.
First things first, I just want to confirm something. Yep, no, that's in range.
No,
So
what's in range?
I fairy fire.
Okay.
No, it's basically each object in 20-foot cube is outlined in green, blue, or violet. Any
Okay.
creature is also outlined.
Oh.
If they fail a check.
Oh, you marked him. Okay.
Basically.
That's clever. So he can't slip into the crowd.
Yep. And they shed dim light in a 10-foot radius.
Yep. So you used your move action already?
If I moved, does that mean if I spend an action, I can then run through this easily?
Yeah, you can run through it on your next turn.
Okay, then I'll prepare that. But he is currently glowing violet.
Yep. He's glowing violet as he continues to sprint through the crowd. You start seeing a trail that's going up north. Your turn. You can use an athletics check or an acrobatics check to move through it, as if it's normal turn.
I'll do acrobatics.
Okay, roll for acrobatics, please.
17.
You succeed. You can now move through that. For a big turtle, you're extremely agile as you're like, jumping over scattered boxes and not tripping over yourself. However, when you come over to the crowd, that's going to be a little bit different. So they're kind of clumped together. So they're also difficult terrain. But you will need to use persuasion or intimidation to remove them out of the way.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it would take an action for you to do that, or you can just, barrel through the rough terrain.
Yeah, I might just barrel through them.
Alright, so use that as a sprint double move. Nope, there is Vika. He's throwing a bunch of stuff down as he just sort of runs. Using his ability, he doesn't treat crowds as rough terrain. Yeah, he just throws all this stuff down, and then there's another Bergfolk worker. He's just like, hey!
I'm just gonna basically say, constable business.
Yep, alright. This is also considered rough terrain.
He is glowing, by the way, still.
Yeah, you can definitely track him. He's just really quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like this is what he does for a living.
Yes.
We reveal this, he's just like, just moving, smacking some more stuff down. It's almost like he's trying to run away from the cops or something.
1, 2, 15.
1, 2, buckle my shoe. So it's your turn?
I'm gonna say, constable business, move aside.
Yeah, I think yelling, constable, get out of the way is an intimidation check. I'm assuming you're like flashing your badge as you're like running.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Total of 10.
Ooh, sorry. Does not cut the mustard.
Alright, fair enough then.
Gotta work on your people skills.
I do not need people, I need the law.
Law! The law!
And that was technically not a sprint, so I still have 3.
Yep. So Vika is going to sprint into here. Alright, it is now your turn.
Yep, and I move.
You can see a magical fey sparkles, whatever. He's sparkling now. Deal with it.
What is he, a Twilight vampire?
Ah, I do not go blah de blah de blah. That
I mean,
line is
old
driving me nuts.
reference.
Yeah.
Scrape and lick.
No, Dracula don't bite. Dracula scrape, then lick. Anyway, so you see that he's moving over there to the right.
Yep. Okay, now I'm gonna try that again. Constable, move out of the way.
All right,
First.
roll again.
0.
Okay, they're just like, what the fuck are you doing, asshole? Oh dear. Oh, he is losing you.
I'm surprised he can sprint this much.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty good at it.
I was talking more about from his constitution, but yes.
I mean, there's also training.
Mm.
He's learned to run very quickly in his line of profession, which is, stealing from people. He's moving this way.
Yep. I'm assuming I could have just seen them like on the coattail.
The trail.
Yes. I'm just gonna sprint.
And there's an obstacle.
Yep.
You're just gonna bail through that like a gov in a China a gov in a...
Well, that's in front of me.
shop.
That's all my movement. I'm not in the obstacle yet.
Oh, okay. True. With that, you can actually see Vika throwing some more stuff down and then running away. Like a little bitch. He's like sort of giggling to himself. Alright, what do you do next?
This time I'm just gonna barrel through it and say, get out of the way.
Okay.
To the people. Alright, 17
That
for
succeeds.
the, and do I need something for the people?
Yes, persuasion or intimidation.
15.
That succeeds.
And then I can just run through that next turn.
Yep.
My turn?
Yes.
And of course I need to roll. 18.
Yep.
For this difficult terrain.
All right. It's now your turn again.
I haven't gotten line of sight on him again, but thank God
Yep.
for Fairy Fire.
You can see that this actually leads out to a main street.
Alright, I'm gonna yell with a 15 total for the people to get out of the way.
That succeeds. You can just move up. He already reached his endgame. Oh well.
Vika,
Vika, you son of a bitch!
will you answer some questions or do I have to restrain you?
So Vika climbs onto an orbital trolley, placing his fingers on his forehead in a mocking motion. Yeah. Suddenly, the trolley comes to a complete halt. As you see on the other side of the track, the constable is just standing right there. The constable just like walks over to the trolley entrance door as Vika just makes a audible like gulping sound. And of course,
He's still glowing, by the way.
yes, he is still going. He's like, "Ugh." As the constable just looks over, says, "I believe this is your stop," and then grabs him by his like collar and then just rips him out of the trolley. You can tell by his swiftness of just like reaching him out that he is 100% done with this little shit.
Well, that was either one more sprint or zero sprint, so I'm not completely winded yet.
You're able to somewhat keep on him. Very impressive. Good job. Yeah, you apprehend Vika. He is now 100% apprehended.
By the way, the glow fades after a minute.
Mm-hmm. As the constable pins the birdfolk's arm to his back directly onto the wall. He's like, hey, okay, I'm not resisting! Shouts, trying to get comfortable in the hold.
Sorry, I don't think I heard you.
The constable, through his voice, you see that he is just really tired. We know you were at Vullkon's bar last night. What were you doing there? You have no proof that I was there.
Holds up one of the feathers.
Vika just sort of like looks like, those could be anybody's green feathers. The constable just like pins him further. Gah! The constable is definitely better at interrogating than you are.
Oh, absolutely.
He's famous for it, in fact.
I'm just gonna hold up some water, because I carry a water pouch with me.
No, I just dyed my feathers today, please, no!
I start just giving him essentially a dressing down.
You're just like dripping water like above his head. It's like, no, my hairdo, it's ruined. The constables are assaulting me, help!
We are not assaulting you, it is just dripping water.
Yeah, the constable just shoves him further and is like, talk, Vika. We know you were at Vullkon's bar last night as the crime occurred, so you can tell us what you know. Or we can take you to the bureau for murder charges. Vika immediately like wide-eyed. Murder? Look, I just took some stuff. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't know Vullkon died, honest. You were the only one at the bar last night at the murder scene. Doesn't look good for you. Adjudicator Grimgar won't favor your track record. Tell me who else was in the bar. Now. Vika makes like more squeaks. He's just like, okay, wait. I did see someone. When I was at Vullkon's bar, I saw him talk to a girl. Sort of squeaks out in desperation. Do you want the constable to grill him further, or would you like to?
Oh, I'm fine with that. A girl?
Human. Black wavy hair. I don't know what they were talking about, but they weren't on the best of terms. That's all I know, honest.
Do you know what happens when water expands in a confined space?
Does it frizz up my dew?
Pop.
That's possible. I'm telling you, please. That's all I know, honest.
Because a girl with black wavy hair is not really that descriptive. I don't know if that's gonna really help you in this case.
Who is this girl and where can we find her? I don't know the name, but I know where she hangs out. It's either the storage house around the docks, an abandoned apothecary in Guildtown. You should be able to find her in one of those places.
And how do you know this?
May have talked to her on a couple of occasions. On how to be a good Samaritan, of course.
The water turns freezing as it drips on him.
Cold. You may roll an insight check.
21.
It appears that this is all that he knows. This is all that he believes he knows.
So you don't know this person, but you've talked to them?
But not on a first-name basis.
And what were those conversations about?
It's being a good Samaritan, like I said.
I'm gonna specifically now move the water, because it's a cobblestone floor. I'm gonna basically have the water go there, and then freeze.
Oh, it's up my nose. Okay. She was talking about what Vullkon was doing. I said that he was doing some things with the Silver Moon, and she went over there. That's all she asked about. That's all I know.
Immediately takes back all the water.
His beak is just wicking with water as it like drips down. Constable looks at you, seeing that that's probably all you're going to get out of the thief. And he just looks up, is like, so am I free to go?
What do you think?
Well, Constable Asteri, how convincing was Vika?
7 out of 10.
You can either choose to apprehend Vika or let him go.
Vika.
Yes?
Tell me why I should, play the game with the constable and let you go with just some community service.
I'll actually do community service. For real. Legit. As long as you don't put ice water up my nose again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go straight and narrow. I promise this time.
You can go. However, if I have to chase you, ice water up the nose is the least of the issues.
Okay, yes, no. You'll never see me pickpocketing an old lady's purse ever again. I promise. Or water. Ice water, yes, I remember.
Alright.
As you were, gentlemen. Seeing that he actually violated his curfew this time, I would have actually arrested him. That you've actually shown more mercy this time, I would.
There's only one reason and one reason.
And what would that be?
Worst case scenario, I can run him down again, with your help.
I might not be able to stop the trolley the next time.
We'll see. Honestly, he violated curfew. He violated custody. I truly want to throw him to the books. However,
We do have bigger fish to fry.
it's not worth the paperwork right now, and I don't have time to wait for an enforcer.
Well, it seems that we might have a suspect with a motive. We don't have much time, so we'll search for our mystery woman near the warehouse. Use a payphone to call Luke. Tell him to gather enforcers and search for the abandoned apothecary. Time is of the essence. He hands you a coin to operate the payphone and tell your enforcer to contact.
There's a problem, I don't see a payphone here.
It's okay. It's theater of the mind stuff.
No, of course, I call Luke.
Hey, what's up?
We have 2 leads. We're going after one. You need to go to the abandoned apothecary on...
Guildtown. Guildtown? Okay, yeah, sure. That's a quick trip.
And also, Luke,
Yeah?
carry a bag with you from now on.
I don't think we're going to be seeing any murder bodies again, but I'll do it just in case.
You can only hope.
Meanwhile, the constable, he waves his hand to flag down a trolley down the third ring orbital to the docks. So, get ready, go to the docks. The smell of fish lingers in the air as the market stalls start to prepare to open up shop. You and the constable arrive at the abandoned warehouse. Someone else has beat you to it. Men wearing white masks with the blood-red lines running down the eye holes, similar to the ones in Vullkon's bar. They start kicking over boxes and tables. Then they look at you arriving at the scene. You see one of the Silver Moon thugs is just like, oh shit, it's the constables, waste them! Roll for initiative.
I have an 18.
Asteri, it is your turn. What
Woo.
do you want to do?
How's the condition of the floor?
The floor is tile like brick road, as well as some more freshly laid brick road.
Okay, but you said they were kicking over stuff?
Yeah, they were kicking over like miscellaneous boxes, storage equipment, that stuff.
Any fish on the floor and such?
No. However,
Okay.
there is fish water. You're gonna do the water thing, aren't you?
If needed.
Okay. They're technically looking at you.
First off, can move all the way over here. And what's with this symbol again?
This one appears to be bigger.
Got it.
So that's
Perfect,
just
because-
to, notify that he is the big one. He's the big boy.
I will use a guiding bolt on his ass.
Alright. Do I need to roll anything, or do you?
Ranged spell attack.
Not range spell attack? He's technically behind cover, so you will have a disadvantage.
Well, that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
I was trying to get enough area to, shoot him,
Mhm.
but I didn't have enough movement.
Oh well. Big turtle man.
Okay, then.
Small turtle.
So, total of 16.
No, that does not hit.
Okay.
So this Silver Moon thug is going to you and going to take a pot shot with his pistol. You will have disadvantage. First one miss. Second one also miss.
Well, one roll and it would have been a miss,
Miss. I have to at least try.
of course. But with disadvantage, not really if it's already a miss.
Yep. Constable is actually going to dive over here, get the flank on this guy, and shoot at him with his pistol. Yeah, that hits. He's going to take 2 shots. Pow pow.
Now, obviously, this is like Thug
Four.
Leader. Is this Thug 1 or Thug 2 in this case?
Oh, this is Thug 1, Thug 2, and Big Thug. So after that, it is now this guy's turn. He is going to over here and also try to shoot at him. And, okay, first one is an 18. Second one is also an 18.
Still doesn't hit.
What's your AC again?
19.
Alright, so yeah, it doesn't hit then. So, big guy is going to take what appears to be a grenade and then throw it down. And then, you see...
There's no other doors in the building before we came in, right?
No. Well, none that are open. You see now that steam has poured out of the grenade.
Yeah, half cover is 2, 3/4 is 4, full cover you technically can't attack.
Yep. The steam will give you confirmed disadvantage. And also you can't target anybody inside that with spells.
Well, I don't need to see them to do something else.
Uh-oh. Is it
Spike growth,
Oh, boy.
20-foot radius.
Kotar, would you like
This
to
one
move?
shot at me. This one shot at me, right?
Both of them did. Yes. They were both shooting at you.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you at that one. I'm gonna move there, so the guy can't officially flank me.
Okay, so it is now this guy's turn. He's actually going to do something, but you can't see it. But he is going to stay right there, and then it is now the constable's turn. So the constable is actually going to, from like his other holster, using his left hand, he just whips out a massive hand cannon that you know, using the model, the blaster caster, and is going to automatically hit this fellow right here. 9 damage immediately, and he just got shot right through the leg. You just see like a burning hole through the leg.
Mm-hmm.
It is now this guy's turn. So you said spike growth does lingering damage for every 5 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's difficult terrain.
So he is going to move here and then try and fire at the constable.
So he takes 4d4 dice. Let me roll that then.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes 12 damage when he ran through the underbrush.
All right. It is now this guy's turn. He does something.
The one with a hole in his leg.
You can actually roll perception for what he does.
So 20.
You notice that he's applying some kind of liquid to his machete. He's going to go over and take melee attacks at you, and you are technically flanked, so it is advantage. What was your AC again?
19.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that definitely succeeds. Also, roll for Constitution.
Yep. So what kind of flanking are you going by officially?
Anything that occupies the square adjacent, perpendicular to the chevron.
Fair enough.
That's why the chevrons are there.
No, that's perfectly fine. That's why I'm just asking.
Yeah.
22, by the way.
You succeed. Throughout your experience as a constable, you have definitely been poisoned before, and now you are feeling like you are being poisoned.
Mm-hmm. They attempted to poison me.
Well, yeah, they stabbed you, but, you know, your turtle cut through the turtle hide, but didn't actually enter into your bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess this is technically a venom, whatever. 14 damage to him.
Alright.
Bonk. Asteri, it is now your turn.
Yay.
What do you do?
Alright, I'm just double checking. I'm officially going to cast Transistor on the floor.
Uh-oh.
Right where he is.
Uh-oh. Okay, what is Transistor?
Essentially, it's bonfire, but electricity.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look at the bonfire spell again.
So basically, he needs to make a DC saving throw.
Yes. 5 foot cube. Okay, so you're just literally electrocuting him.
Yep.
Okay, so actually, it works quite well, considering the fact that the floor is wet. What am I rolling for?
Dexterity.
Dexterity? You got it. What's the DC?
14, I believe.
He doesn't pass by a mile. He got a 4.
My good, he gets an 8 for up of electricity.
I'm gonna say this, since the floor is, like, really conductive, you do the maximum amount of damage with this spell.
Ooh, okay. So then, yeah, 8.
He's like... He's being electrocuted.
Now, unfortunately, I did drop spike growth.
Oh, okay. That like a concentration thing?
Yep. Druids are practically all concentration.
Oops, all concentration. Will that be the end of your turn?
And I'm good for now.
Okay, so it is now Mr. Silvermoon Thug's turn here, and he's actually going to just run out and charge at Mr. Constable. He misses. And the Constable is going to respond in kind by using the Blaster Caster right in his face, dealing... I think he might have one-tapped this guy. Fuck. Oops. 12 damage. Yeah, this guy's down for the count. He blocks, like, the machete attack with his wrist guards, and then immediately just, like, slips the blaster caster underneath, poking at, like, his thigh, and then blasting right through. And this guy's like, oh my god, oh gosh, You see him run out, charging at you. However, you don't see any marks on him. He's just doing a full sprint. You see, like, tears in his clothing, but you don't see blood coming out.
Oh, so it didn't do damage last time? Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. Now it's this guy's turn, who is still being electrocuted. Should I roll for something?
If he ends his turn there, though, he will take more damage.
Okay.
Although he does have disadvantage, I believe, on the save.
Alright, he is going to try and move over to the side and then try and smack you. This is technically a flank, so...
I thought it said only if it's opposite.
No, the perpendicular of the chevron.
Ah.
You were very lucky, because he got really bad rolls.
It's fine. I mean, even if it hit, whatever.
Yeah. You're a big, strong turtle boy. Speaking of which, Asteri, it's your turn.
Yay. You know what? Shock him.
Alright. Shock is cocked, baby. Am I rolling?
Yep.
Yeah, he fails. He got a 3.
And he already gets max damage again, so...
Yep. Now it does the meme where in Home Alone 2 where he's like being shocked so much that he just turns into a skeleton. It's like, ah! Ah! And then just falls over. Okay, he is out. Now we have the big boy that we have to contend with. Oh, you move up over there?
Yep. You action, then move.
Yep.
I thought the guy was down for a second, that's why I moved first.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So the constable is going there and then fire his normal pistol. Pistole. Yep, that hits. 4 damage. So he just takes the bullets and starts shrugging it off.
Does it, again, do no damage?
No, it does damage. This guy is just very resilient.
Oh, so the 12 damage I did technically still happened.
No, that didn't, but shooting him did.
Got it.
A quirked up Silver Moon thug. Just a little bit of swag. Busting it down
Hey.
sexual style. God, kill me now.
I'm on the way.
Yes. So, he's going to take and then fire at you. Yeah, he doesn't hit. A lot of missing here. Asteri, it is your turn.
Woo. Guiding bolt again.
Bang, bang.
I'll use my last free use today,
Yay.
because I still have all my other spells.
Yosh.
So does a 25 hit?
Yes, it does. I don't know. Why would you be asking me this?
I'm making sure.
If its AC was 25, I think you would have some serious problems right about now.
So 16 damage, and he is now glowing ever so lightly. Thanks to the mystical dim light glowing on the target, the next attack roll made against this target has advantage.
He's a luminescent.
Well, not in the same way as Fairy Fire. Fairy Fire just gives everyone advantage. This one is only advantage for the next turn.
Constable is going to shoot at him. Unfortunately, my rolls are really shit today, so he misses. Then he's going to
I
move
forgot
over
to
into the smoke. This guy, Big Boy, is going to do big boy things and walk up to you, Mr. Big Boy. And he is going to wail on you with his iron knuckles. Unlike Sonic, they do not chuckle. Your AC was 19, right? He takes 3 swings at you. 2 of them miss, 1 of them hit. And you take 5 damage from that. Okay. It is now Asteri's turn.
Yep.
Asteri.
How hurt does this guy look?
Pretty beat up now that you shot him with a Fey bolt, guiding ass. What are you gonna do, Kotar?
I really haven't had time because everyone keeps rushing me to do one of my core abilities, but whatever.
Wow, the melee guy is going to run at you at effective melee range? Wow, who would have guessed?
I know.
It's crazy.
It's whatever. I'm just reading a certain spell here.
Spelly spell. Ooh, that spell. Can you spell that spell? Ooh, that spell. The spell that surrounds you.
Okay, you know what? First off, bonus action healing toward myself.
Oh. How much do you heal for?
I'm making it the 2nd level spell, so 10.
So you heal 10 damage. Very nice. What are you gonna do?
Transistor.
Again? Alright, well, here we go. I'm rolling for dexterity this time. He is not as good.
Is he wearing metal, by the way?
Yes, he is.
Then yes, he has disadvantage.
He's wearing iron knuckles. What do you think? And he takes maximum damage.
Yep.
He doesn't seem as phased by it.
Would you say he's resistant to it?
He's not resistant, but he's not flinching in any way.
Okay.
He's like the, I'll get you, bitch!
Cool.
It is now the constable's turn. The constable is going to peer out of the smoke and shoot at the big boy Silver Moon thug, I should say. Oh, natural 20. What do you know?
Yeah, combat I have not been doing as good.
Yeah, it's fine. You're a
Listen,
druid. It's your druid. It's okay.
I know. I did all my good things for the investigation.
Yep. I mean, that's the important. 11 damage, shot in the back. Okay, it is now his turn, and he's going to do what he does best and beat the crap out of it. First attack hits, second attack hits, which provokes more attacks, but I'm going to roll the thing. So 9 damage on the first roll, and 6, and then another 11. Oh god, natural 20. Are you fucking kidding me? So with another 6, will he hit again? No,
I'm just unconscious.
Oh, you're unconscious? Okay.
Actually, no. Do I have 1 health left?
We'll just say you have 1 health left as he misses. So he's just pummeling the shit out of you.
Not making a noise.
All 3 of you are fucking stoic-ass motherfuckers. It is Asteri's turn. What are you gonna do?
Guiding bolt him to the face with a disadvantage.
4 out of 10 spellcasters. It happens sometimes.
I'm not used to it. 21 to hit.
Roll for damage.
22. And the constable gets advantage.
Yep, well, it doesn't really matter because he just sort of lurches backwards as he falls. And Big Boy is out. So, let me roll for loot real quick. For the 2 normal thugs, in total it's 4 silver, 2 scrap, 2 cloth, 4 pistol bullets, a bottle of antitoxin, and 2 broken Silver Moon mask. For the Big Boy, you get 2 scrap, 1 silver, 1 metal, 1 gunpowder, 1 pistol bullets, and 1 broken mask.
Oh, is that for me? I was just gonna say.
Yes, it is for you. Put it in your inventory.
But it's evidence.
Yeah, it is evidence, but you should still put it in your inventory.
All right.
You got it?
Yes, I do.
The constable just sort of goes over and is like, well, that's more paperwork to fill out. Let's report back to the bureau.
What were they looking for? I'm going to actually specifically look on the pride bid guy.
Constable is like, if I had to hazard a guess, I think it is the suspect we're trying to look for.
All right. Either just covered in blood, just not caring.
This is also going to go back into theater of the mind. Asteri and the constable return to the Emperyan Domestic Affairs Bureau, a branch office located in the Third Ring District, while the enforcers work diligently to collect and organize evidence from the crime scenes. You and the constable create a report of the investigation so far. Suddenly, you hear a door slam open. A faint yet firm stomps fill the hallway as bureaucrats start to shuffle out of the way. Immediate sound and reaction of the crowd. You know who this person is. This is your adjudicator contact, otherwise known as a Lord of Justice, Adjudicator Grimgar, a halfling famous for having a short temper matched by his stature. Overseeing criminal cases in the Third Ring, he oversees anything inside the district, including the case you're working on right now, making you his direct subordinate.
Mm-hmm.
He goes over to your desk and is like, "You two, my chambers, now!"
Okay.
Walks into the adjudicator chambers, waiting for you to walk in before slamming the door shut and waddling over to the desk. "Now, can one of you please tell me what is going on with this murder case?" Slams down an edition of today's paper, the Dun Dun Gazette, on the desk. The headline reads, "Emperor's Assassin Strikes Again. Dissenters of the Golden Age beware." The details of the first page are speculative at best, but the report states that people are starting to believe in an assassin who's been running around and killing anybody who dares try to speak ill of the Emperor and the Empress.
That is dumb.
This includes more outspoken and radical Silvermoon members. How would you like to respond to Adjudicator Grimgar?
Paper is factually incorrect. We have a lead on the most likely culprit.
Yeah, that's factually incorrect. Oh, that's wonderful. Why don't you tell the millions of people out there that are absolutely scared shitless over all of this gov crap?
Give me the paper, Bureau, then.
There are news reports that some kind of craze killer is going out there and cutting down anyone who mocks the Emperor. Doesn't matter about the facts. People are starting to get restless. They'll think if they utter one mean word in the Emperor's direction, they'll be killed as well. Shouting. You see his face just turning reddish pink.
By the way, am I still covered in blood?
You definitely cleaned up after that.
Okay.
You got patched up, obviously. We're trying to find the culprit. This might be some sort of political assassination or a framing like Silvermoon members fighting one another.
That is true. Arguably, two different groups have already come into conflict, as you've probably no doubt heard about the doc report.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely wrote about the doc report. It's definitely not placating the masses after, there is a burning hole through a man's leg. This is just creating absolute panic.
Self-defense is one of the core concepts of the Heavenly Decree.
He just sort of rolls his eyes. Civil unrest now at an all-time high. Whether it's someone trying to wedge unhappy Silvermoons or to create a full mutiny, I don't care. The higher-ups in the Bureau are making this my problem. So if you don't wrap this up quickly, it's going to be on your heads as well. Find whoever is doing this, send them to trial, lock them up, and throw away the key. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Constable responds with that as Crystal. Grimgar immediately says, "Good! Now get out of my office!" As soon as the two of you leave his chamber, the door slams shut. The constable looking at you and shrugs. Well, that went better than expected.
Yes, he's in a better mood today than I thought.
Yes. A bureau assistant then walks over to you with a small note in her hand. "Excuse me? But are you, Constable Asteri?"
I am.
Yeah,
How can I help?
She looks timidly, looking at her small paper. "There is a, enforcer officer named, Luke, who wanted you to call as soon as you can."
Ah, what is the number then?
She hands you the slip of paper that has the number on it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
She also motions you over to a phone. You can call Luke as soon as you are able.
Calling Luke.
You call the number as it rings, and abruptly someone picks up. "Hey, Asteri, it's me, Luke."
Yes.
He says more nasally than usual, as if his nose was clamped.
Luke?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we found the girl that matched the description. She's in an interrogation room on the Western Branch.
Let me guess, she punched you in the face.
How did you know? We were trying to apprehend her, and she straight up punched me in the face. I think she broke my nose.
That can be fixed eventually.
Oh,
Do
okay,
not worry.
good. Well, I don't know if health coverage covers this.
If they do not, I will. Anyway, what cell?
It's just the interrogation room. There's only one cell.
Ah, there's only one?
Yeah. I think my nose is bleeding again. I'm just gonna put my head up for time being.
Okay, I'll see you shortly, Luke. I'll bring my bag.
Alright. Thanks, buddy.
Hangs up.
Is the constable nearby?
Yep.
wave him over.
Any news from Luke?
Yes, they got her. Third branch.
Perfect. We should go there immediately.
Yep, let's go.
You guys start walking. Before I do the switch to the other thing, I'm just going to give a little bit of a description of the outside. Lights flash from bright filament bulbs in different directions as you walk towards the interrogation building. Reporters surround you from all sides. The Oculus from their photograph devices encapsulate everything as some swarm to try and get an interview with the constable. Mr. Constable, is it true that you apprehended the infamous assassin? There's a rumor she was a Silver Moon pariah in the past. Can you confirm this? Does this relate to the past gang-related affairs at the slums? I don't know if you want to interject in any of this.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just flat out ignoring it.
Yeah, the constable is just sort of like, I cannot confirm or deny, I cannot confirm or deny, I cannot confirm or deny. Mr. Constable, Dova from the Dun Dun Gazette, is it true that the Emperor's assassin had a salacious affair with another The constable then whips back and is like, everyone, please! We are still conducting the investigation. You will receive a Bureau-approved report once we have completed our thorough interrogation. He then closes the door, sighing, muttering tabloid journalists under his breath.
They're the worst. However, we are not legally allowed to resist them.
Unfortunately. You see Luke, adjacent to the door, waiting to meet you along with the other civil enforcers.
Luke.
Oh, hey guys, you finally made it.
I hand him my bag.
His bag of Goodberry.
Yes.
Takes his like, oh, my nose. Stop bleeding. How do I look? And you see he still has like a crooked nose.
Hold still. I'm gonna now fix it.
Roll medicine.
Unnatural 20.
Hey! You fix his nose. He's like, I can breathe clearer now.
Congrats.
He's like, anyway, we have the suspect in the interrogation room just ahead. Crunch scrolls are set up and ready to record a confession.
Alright, let us proceed.
Luke starts to head over to the other side of the interrogation room, where an obscured window hid the rest of the enforcers as they listened and recorded to anything that the suspect might say. Constable waits at the door. I'll leave the questions to you. If you decide to push, I will try to give slack so that she cooperates, and also vice versa.
Alright.
What approach should we go? Good constable or bad constable?
Luke, how were they when... Obviously, they were assaulted you. However, anything else?
I think she kicked another guy in the crotch, too.
That's definitely... Any screaming or anything?
Yeah, she was, actually.
And what was she screaming about?
Something about taking my head off. I'm going to pummel you into a pulp. You looked prettier after I punched you.
I think bad cop, then. Play it by ear.
Okay. The constable then opens the door. The woman, handcuffed, sitting on the other end of the investigation chair, futzing around as she sees you walk in. A tan human woman with black, wavy hair. Same description as Vika stated. She looks up at you with a defiant stare. So, I have a guide of questions that you should ask, but I'll let you start.
Well, first things first. I'm just gonna walk over. Are you hungry?
No.
Is that a good berry?
No.
Okay. Do you know why you're here?
Not really? Is going through an abandoned apothecary illegal now?
No. Assaulting an officer of the law is, but that's a different story.
Well, if that's the case, guilty as charged. Can I go now?
After you answer a few more, if you could, explain to me, were you at Vullkon's last night, or early this morning?
Yes. I went to his tavern last night.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do?
I smacked around some patrons and gave Vullkon an earful.
And why did you do so?
Because he's recklessly spouting his mouth off, and I told him he was fighting against what the Silver Moon's founder stood for.
I see. By the nature of my questions, do you have an idea of why I'm here?
Yeah, I shouted at him and stormed off. Isn't that why you guys arrested me? For causing a disturbance? I'm assuming that you got a call from Vullkon to lock me up?
Insights on these?
Yes, roll an insight.
Unnatural 20.
Yeah, okay, there you go. She fully believes that Vullkon is still alive.
I see. And if I were to tell you that Vullkon was brutally murdered...
I'm gonna keep your insight check because it was really good. He immediately goes wide-eyed. He's still alive, right? Constable is like, he was assassinated last night. Her face then goes into complete shock, and you see in the insight check this is 100% genuine.
Okay.
She is absolutely mortified that this man died.
The Emperor's assassin strikes again. As such, you were placed at the scene of the crime. You are the leading suspect. I can already believe you right now that you didn't commit it, partially speaking, giving your reaction, but then again...
She just goes like, no, of course I didn't. Oh god, he's dead. I thought he had a lot of goth crap in his head, but I didn't want him to die. He had a family. Who the hell did this?
That is what we're trying to find out. Do you understand why you are here now?
No, I didn't...
You were the last person that was seen talking to him aggressively before we found his corpse.
You were the last person who saw Vullkon before the murder. So, the next question, follow-up, if she didn't do it, then who did?
I'm trying to get her to see the situation.
Are you gonna ask her then who did it?
Does she understand why we're here?
She just nods, like, I understand. She's still in shock after all of it.
Would you like a good berry now?
No.
Okay, do you know who might have done it then, if it wasn't you?
I don't know.
Because we encountered other Silver Moon vigilantes in the warehouse. They did not take kindly to us entering the building.
That's probably some of Boone's. I'm assuming they're after me because they thought I murdered him too.
Has Vullkon not then been in contact with another group of Silver Moons then?
I don't know. I didn't exactly know the specifics, and nobody really told me otherwise. I hired Vika to go and snoop around for some stuff, but I think he just ended up stealing everything that wasn't nailed down.
That is true.
The constable sort of shrugs, is like, he can be unreliable.
How did you meet Vika?
Vika? He was trying to pickpocket me, so I punched him in the face.
Ah, good.
He really responds to violence.
I'm not surprised. Anyway, now that we have essentially have a baseline of you claiming that you saw Vullkon alive when you stormed out of his building, let's get back to the most basic matters. What is your name? Why were you fighting with him and believing that... Obviously, I know beliefs are different, but doesn't explain the whole shouting match we've heard. And anything else you think you can tell us. But let's start with the first one. What is your name and occupation?
My name is Yoon. The constable sort of like, for the record, is the same as Yoon Silvermoon, the daughter of Haka Silvermoon. She stares back. It's just Yoon. Of course, the constable replies, a little bit incredulous. Now, what was your second question?
What do you do for a living?
What I do for a living is I work at the apothecary.
The abandoned one.
No, not the abandoned.
What do you do at the apothecary?
Help people out, listen to their pleas, and if constables aren't there to solve the problem, I solve the problem for them.
I see. Before we continue on, let's talk about what you just mentioned. You solve problems for people. What do these problems entail?
Usually punching people in the face, if they don't listen to reason. Kind of like one of those shrimpy enforcers that I managed to get a clean blow off. Cold cock him. He sort of like smiles a bit and is like, eh.
Indeed. Are you aware that Vigilantium is not allowed here?
Yeah, okay. Then arrest me then. It's definitely better than the outside.
Why would you say that? Looks to the constable to make them open up.
Let's go back to what you were saying earlier, Asteri. The specifics on why you and Vullkon had an argument.
Alright.
You were on good terms. Yeah, I was on good terms, he responds. He wanted to fight for the people. He said that the Emperor was essentially bringing everyone down. He managed to make the lower class wealthier, but it's not enough for him. And he wasn't really exactly appreciating the gradual change. So, he resorted to violence. Wanted to show the noblemen in the second and third ring that we mean business. I told him it stood in the face of what the founders stood for. And the constable replies with, you mean what your father stood for? He then replies with like, sure, whatever.
So were you aware of anyone in particular he was going to target?
No, but he started spouting about a few diplomats, financial ambassadors, even a couple of lords of justice. Other than that, I had no idea. I was trying to stop it.
And I believe you.
He thinks causing a bunch of chaos and pandemonium will make people see that this entire system is corrupt from the top down. I think it's going to create unnecessary bloodshed. That's something the third ring really doesn't need right now. Asteri, can you roll investigation check?
21.
Do you notice on her clothing some white sort of specks like sort of crumble off? As you look further, you see that there are porcelain chips on her clothes.
Now, to get into a different topic, how often would you say you visited the bar?
I've only visited once during the season.
Interesting.
I never really liked that place.
Alright. Can you describe the place, though? I only saw it as destroyed. Could you give it a general visage so we could have an understanding of what it looked like before?
The room was mostly smoke-filled. The furniture was very tacky. And most of the patrons wanted to grab my ass, but I decided to retort with a fist in the stomach.
That is fair.
Vullkon always got my back. Always had my back. She
I
sort
see.
of like switches from present tense to past tense, still coming to grips that he's actually dead.
I have a question. Was Vullkon into pottery at all?
What?
Fine china, ceramics, any kind of
Well,
stuff like that?
China doesn't exist. Ha! Fine porcelain, pottery.
Yeah.
She just sort of looks as like, what are you talking about? Her eyes start to shift a bit.
Oh, really? Because when we were investigating, I happened upon some porcelain that seemed to be ingrained to the table, as if porcelain was rubbed against the table.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I see.
She's definitely withholding something.
How about this then? You obviously have a nice right hook. Let's, do we actually have any photos of the crime scene?
Luke sort of like walks over and hands the photos before giving her the side eye and then walking back.
Now, if you don't know anything, let me, check something out for you. How strong would you say you are? Obviously you have a good right hook, but...
Maybe I can lift that pipsqueak you call an enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to use both of my hands to do it.
Now, what about Vullkon?
There's no way I am lifting that tub of a man.
So, you couldn't lift with, say, one hand?
No. She actually looks with genuine confusion. It's like, why are you asking me that?
Because I can't help but wonder what's porcelain doing on your body.
She just sort of looks down and lo and behold, she has porcelain on her clothing.
And I was just wondering if you're strong enough to do this, throws a picture of Vulcan's body, with one hand.
Oh my god! Yeah, she is absolutely in shock. Roll intimidation with advantage this time.
Oh, thank God! I rolled a 4 and then a 19.
Okay, what do you say?
This man is dead. You are withholding information. At the moment, his blood could be on your hands if you do not help us fully.
You just see her, like, slowly becoming more and more stressed as she just, like, lashes out and is like, I don't know who killed him! I don't! She just sort of looks down and is like, I'm the number one suspect, just put me away then.
Can you tell me about the porcelain?
No, I don't know anything. Roll insight.
24.
So, she's not lying. She knows that there's something with porcelain involved in it, but it seems like she doesn't really seem to have a grasp of what's going on. Her eyes, like, are just sort of shifting and then looking downcast. It seems like she's withholding information not for her sake, but for your sake. Also, Yoon takes 1 emotional damage from that photo that you showed her.
Okay. Asteri's actually going to, not even bother with a chair, kneel down. I do not know a lot of things outside of my direct purview, but I do know that I want to help. I want to help Vulcan's family, the Empire, its citizens. I want to help you. Will you let me help?
Okay, you get an inspiration for that, and you get to roll for advantage on that persuasion.
Woo! God bless advantage. 19 total.
She smiles and just sort of looks down and is like, I've told you everything that I know. Just put me in the cell.
Looks at the constable.
Constable just sort of shrugs and is like, of course. Right this way, ma'am. As he starts to escort Yoon into her cell. It's kind of weird that she would prefer the cell than answering more questions.
So I need to talk to the constable?
Mm-hmm. Constable waits over here for you. Constable just looks as like something doesn't add up here. She was at the scene of the crime, but she didn't know that Vullkon was dead. You saw how her eyes shifted around. There's more, like, if she was in fear, what happens if we know what she knows?
Quite honestly, yes, it's more of that she's afraid for us.
Why do you think that is?
I believe she knows something. At first I assumed it was some kind of alter ego that somehow she didn't know about.
Interesting theory.
Unfortunately, at this point, it seems more like it's a specific group now that has to do with porcelain.
Speaking of the porcelain, she doesn't have a motive, yet the evidence is strewn all over her clothes.
Exactly, hence the original alter ego idea.
But then, what was the object made out of porcelain? Do you think it's the murder weapon?
It could be the murder weapon, but then the question becomes, did they stab Vulcan and then decide to scratch the table, or when in the fight they just decide to attack the table at the same time with porcelain? It makes no sense.
It definitely was an altercation. Vulcan, judging by the shotgun shot, did try to fight. There was definitely a struggle. But whether the mess was made by the murderer or if Yoon was the one who made the mess is entirely unknown.
It's possible that she made the mess when they fought.
Maybe Yoon made quite a bit of a mess and the murderer just added to that, compounded
It could be that.
with added porcelain chips. But then, if Yoon walked out before the murder, why is there porcelain chips all over?
And how does she not know?
That is a good question.
Honestly, I do not believe she is guilty of the murder. It makes no sense.
No. What is the fact that she is definitely involved? However, it doesn't rule her out necessarily as a suspect. Further investigation is needed.
Indeed, not to mention the assault upon officers. However,
One crime at a time, please.
I know, I'm making comments, I'm just bringing it up. However, I am very interested. There are others in her faction.
Well, she's part of the original Silver Moon family. Taka Silver Moon, the hero that aided the Emperor in his golden age. This is her daughter.
No, of course, and I fully respect him.
He noted, adopted daughter. As you know, you don't even need to roll, like, history for this. Taka's an orc, Yoon is a human.
Yeah,
And
no, I wasn't concerned about that.
his wife is an elf, so something definitely doesn't add up there. But yeah, she is adopted.
I do not believe she is in any way, shape, or form guilty of this murder. However, she knows something. The question is, how do we get her to talk?
Yes. How do we indeed? The constable is interrupted by his thinking by the ringing of a phone. He briskly walks over. This is the constable speaking. Yes, of course. As the Emperor wills it. Places the phone down as he walks over to you. I have received a message from the Empress. You are to report to the rail station and await further orders. This is top priority. I'll handle the case from here and notify you of any changes. The Emperyan Father guides you. He says, as you hurry to fulfill the wishes of the Emperor himself.
I was gonna say something before I left, but nope, Emperor calls.
Yep, Emperor calls. And that is the end of the final one-shot!
Woo!
Alright, so, how did we like it, folks?
I honestly really liked it. As a person, I really like Yoon. She's fun.
Yeah, but she's suspected of a murder, so,
Unfortunately, Asteri has to do his duty. However, it is no longer his problem, nor his concern, so he doesn't care anymore.
Yep. Just nobody tell Haka